All right, this is G, and you have just arrived at the Aries Ascendant December 4th, 2019 video. All right, Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising. I'm going to go over some of the current energies. I'm really kind of stuck on Jupiter right now. I'm sorry. I know that's all everyone's talking about, but I'm excited about it because I want you to get a really good grasp on what this is going to mean for you. Okay, the location of Aries Aries Ascendant puts Jupiter entering your 10th house. Jupiter is in Capricorn, okay? So it goes into your 10th house. Now, we need to understand what the 10th house is about, and then we need to understand what the hell does Jupiter mean, how this is going to look in your life, why does it matter? You know, we got to back up a little bit. In your 10th house, you've had Pluto there for 13 years. Pluto is about taking some shit out by the root and throwing it out. It's a re-transformation. It's a reconstruction. All right. We're going to build something new, but we're going to start from the ashes. That's Pluto. Okay. So I would imagine for a lot of Aries, they're thinking, okay, this makes a lot of sense because shit's just not been good, right? Your 10th house is your highest hopes, goals, and aspirations. It is how you are acknowledged in the world. It is where someone says, okay, this is you, and we are acknowledging and recognizing you for being this individual. And you have Capricorn there. Holy shit. So that means whatever that's going to be for you, you want to be at the very top, right? That's the goat climbing up the mountain. And you will get to the mountaintop no matter what. You're an Aries Ascendant. Like, there's no stopping an Aries Ascendant. Mars rules that. It's like, I've got the physical strength and stamina, and I will go, and I will abuse my body. I'll do whatever the hell I got to do. I got to take a break. Shit, I don't need a break. I'm going to keep on going because I want to keep ascending and climbing, okay? So that would be a drawback. But you've had Pluto there. So Pluto's been transforming that 10th house and saying, we got to figure this out. Like, this old system isn't working anymore. I want you to pay attention to Pluto. It's important. Don't ignore it. Pluto is your soul, okay? And I realize we're talking about the transiting Pluto. So that means this is happening for all of us, yes, but it's happening for you specifically in your 10th house. Now, Saturn joined your 10th house 2 years ago. And I'm pretty damn sure you didn't need me to tell you that. Saturn takes things and restricts it and says, I'm going to squeeze the shit out of you. I'm going to squeeze you and squeeze you and squeeze you. The thing about Saturn is it slows us down. So whatever your goals, hopes, and aspirations were professionally, Saturn came in and said, you know what? I'm going to put a squeeze on you. It slows things down because Saturn wants things to be done its way. And there's a beautiful aspect of Saturn. If you do it Saturn's way, Saturn rewards. Too many people teach fear with Saturn. Like, Saturn is the taskmaster, and it is, but it is only because it wants a high quality product, and it wants the good for you in the end. Saturn thinks about the long term, okay? Saturn is father time. It says, you know what? If you keep doing this, if you keep going the way you're going, you're not going to be around for the beautiful things that are coming later on. Saturn says, hey, slow down, think this through. You need to do what's best for you in the long term, right? And so that's why when Saturn comes around, we're just like, oh, God damn. And Saturn is kind of because it does that, it also affects our thinking in that sense. And if you are Aries Ascendant, Saturn would be directly, Saturn is going to square up with, well, actually, let me not even go there. Let me talk about what Saturn is doing. She is sextiling your home right now, your inner emotional world. It's sending a sextile to that. Saturn is helping with areas of your connecting to the other side, of connecting to the spirit realm. It's sending a sextile, so it's a benefit, okay? But at the same time, Jupiter has now entered the picture. And Jupiter is typically a benefit. Jupiter comes along and it sends good vibes. Now, when it enters Capricorn, let's first dissect Capricorn. But before I do that, I got to mention something. I'm G, and this is all astrology, okay? If you're new, comment your birth digits down below. We give every subscriber one free reading. It's a high quality report. It will It will not be computer generated. It is a gift for you, for our subscribers. We appreciate your subscription. We appreciate your loyalty. We love your interaction and your comments. And so we gift you right back immediately from the start because we believe in humanity. All right? This is the gift of knowledge, and we are here to share. And we expect you to pass it on. All right? Now, with that said, let's move on to the rest of the Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising, December 2019 outlook. Okay, so for this month, let me talk a little bit about Jupiter. Jupiter exaggerates things, first of all. It's the first thing I have to say. It tends to exaggerate. It adds to things. It's all about growth. It's all about expansion, okay, and opportunity, okay? So it entering your 10th house, this sounds really freaking good, doesn't it? Just keep in mind that Jupiter is also the legal system and law. It represents government officials, okay? It represents our belief systems and our opinions, okay? Now, Jupiter being there does have a tendency to say, okay, wow, I'm going to be viewed as this. Like I'm going to be the guru around the summit. You know, I'm going to be, you know, like this really expansive being that is all knowing and all, you know, all consciousness and this just like nirvana type of thing, right? So that's the exaggerated Jupiter thing, because Jupiter is very ideal, okay? And we all know in the physical, tangible world, it's not always very ideal. There's a lot of lacking of idealism in the world. And so I'm loving this for Aries risings, for Aries ascendants, to having Jupiter there, because it's going to help that Saturn stuff. Saturn being in that house, being restrictive, tended to, first of all, it would ground things. It would say, hey, I know you want to do this. You have these really expansive ideas, but then Saturn says, okay, now show me tangibly how you can do this, okay? And that's where Jupiter comes in. Jupiter just got out of, because we're connecting the earth signs together, and we're talking about your Jupiter cycle. Jupiter just ended and is now beginning a new cycle for you, okay? Because it's in a cardinal sign, which is Capricorn. So it's the start of something new. It's a 12-year cycle. In 12 years, Jupiter will go all the way around and come right back to Capricorn again. Okay? And when it gets back to Capricorn 12 years from now, it'll be a state of you looking back and saying, oh my God, I accomplished all of that in that 12 years. And it's all beginning here. So the question is, what happened in the last 12 years during your last Jupiter cycle? You think that through, okay? You know how much you've learned, how far you've come, how different you are now than you were 12 years ago. I'll put money on there's been major changes, especially in the area of this house. Because 13 years ago, like I said, Pluto entered here. Pluto is this deep, slow, transforming thing. It's like we change and we don't even realize we're changing over time. And then Saturn came along and put like a damper and more restrictions on it. But Jupiter enters and it says, I just came from Virgo. And prior to Virgo, I was in Taurus. Taurus was all about my values, your second house, your income, how I make money, right? And then it went to Virgo, which was in your 6th house, which was, I know what I value now. And here in this house, I'm going to know how to get what I value. I'm going to know how to implement the things. I know how to get from A to Z. That's Virgo, okay? So Jupiter went through Taurus, went through Virgo, and now it's in Capricorn. And Capricorn says, all right, you know what you value. You know how to get it. Now it's time to implement it. That's Jupiter in Capricorn. I know, isn't that exciting as hell? I find it fascinating, exciting. I mean, this is what I love about astrology. I'm literally able to look at and see, oh my God, this is going to happen for this person. This is where you're going. This is how this is going to look. Yes, you have free will, but that's why I love the feedback. I love the updates and to hear what's going to happen and how did it actually look, right? So now we have Jupiter helping us. And it's assisting, and this is going to be here, right? It will stay specifically in this sign of Capricorn for 1 full year. You're going to have it there, okay? Don't forget about the exaggeration part. You know, once it gets closer to the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto, and that's going to be in 2020, which is right around the corner, folks. The end of a decade, it is here, right? So in 2020, we're going to have our conjunction, and there's a video I have for Aries Ascendants already on that talks about that. And when we get closer to that time, Of course, there will be additional videos going into more refining these readings for you, okay? But I like to give people something to look forward to, something to have going down the road. Speaking of which, something to have going down the road. This setup of Jupiter entering this house means that it's going to be sending a sweet trine to your 2nd house and your 6th house. Now, if you know a little bit about astrology, you know the 2nd house is my income, my resources, and what I value. The 6th house is my job, the J-O-B. It's also health, okay? It's also pets, all right? And it's getting a sweet trine from your 10th house. So this looks and sounds wonderful. To me, it's like, okay, I'm going to be getting more work, and it's going to affect my 2nd house, my income. I'm going to be making more money, and it's going to be feeding into my recognition and acknowledgement of my 10th house. This happens from 0 to 4 degrees, okay? So if you are Aries Ascendant, Aries Risings, pay attention to this. From 0 to 4 degrees, see if you have any planets in those locations in your chart. This is going to be huge, all right? Now understand, at the 26th of December, we have an eclipse coming up. The eclipse is at 4 degrees of Capricorn in the same house. This eclipse is in this house, okay? Your 10th house, all right? It's all about your ambition, your goals, your hopes, how you want to be recognized and acknowledged in the world. The 10th house is about people getting a promotion. They say, wow, you've been here for X amount of years, you've done a great job, and here, we're giving you this bonus, we're giving you this promotion, okay? Now that's in a very tangible, old school way of looking at it. I know times have majorly changed and are going to continue to majorly change. So getting our recognition and acknowledgement in that way is going to change as well. But it will be in a physical way for you because you have Capricorn in that house. So it's going to be old school ways, actually, more structured ways in reality, because that's what Capricorn is. It's the tried, the true, the tested. But that's all changing, okay? All those old ways, that's what Saturn and Pluto means. It's going to rip all that down and change it. It's going to be all about government changing. I mean, I don't even want to get into that. This is about your specific reading. But what I do want to get into is you having any planets in the earth signs between 0 and 4 degrees. This is a benefit. This is a grand earth trine. Okay? And so that's in your 2nd house, your 6th house, your 10th, which is my income, which is my job, my health and well-being, my pets, what I value, my resources, and my highest hopes, goals, and aspirations. All right? Another good piece of information I will also give you is that 10th house, Saturn is no longer going to be there come March of 2020. I know that's not right around the corner, but it does give you something to look forward to. Saturn will be leaving Capricorn in March of 2020. Yes, it does a little bit of a retrograde dance, but the point is it's leaving, okay? Because it's so hard having Pluto and Saturn together, which, by the way, in this month of December, we're not only having Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, but we're having Venus, we're having Jupiter, we're having an eclipse, we'll have the sun and the moon there. We're going to have a mega stellium. This hasn't happened since the 1300s, folks. It's a big deal. So be prepared, be flexible for changes, is what that means. Be prepared to see things like surprising and just almost shocking in a sense, but it should be in good ways for all the earth signs. Not going to be so good for cardinal planets because it's Capricorn and that's cardinal. So when that'll be squaring up cardinal things, okay? And for you, the Capricorn cardinals are going to literally actually affect wherever Cancer is in your chart. And Cancer is in your 4th house. It's your home. What does that mean? That's going to be changing. All right? I know people who have already moved, already aware, already feeling the energy, and they knew, okay, it's time to move. It's going to be changing. Unfortunately, it might mean more than one move. That might be the case. And I'm just keeping it real, okay? So be flexible. All right, with that, I'm going to end this, and I hope that this has helped. And stay tuned. Tap your bell so you get our frequent, fresh uploads of energy.